Hello, everybody, and we're back. It's been a couple of months now, and with this series, it's gonna feel a little longer to me because I'm used to with the Wii U tours. I played a lot of catch up, like because I started that series like a year after the Wii U came out, and it's building more momentum at the time. Um, that being said, I know I'm a couple days late if you're watching this live with my upload schedule, but um, I finally got to watching the Switch presentation. And I was impressed. I was. A lot of people have been saying, like, I've heard a lot of complaints about how it was kind of boring and dry. Well, it wasn't like a direct. It was kind of more like a investor's presentation. But honestly, I've enjoyed it because it was a presentation that people asked for. Please excuse the skipping. This camera is really starting to go. Um, The when the Wii U came out, everything on everyone's minds when they did these presentations before the consoles came out was when are you going to talk about the console? When are you going to talk about this? When are you going to talk about that? And that's what they're doing this time. They go into much more detail on what it does. It's not just here's a touchscreen on a controller, which I mean to me that should have explained it all anyway. But I get it. I get that a lot of people are confused with that kind of thing. It was not enough detail. It was not enough explanation for something so new and different. At least motion control had talks and it was starting to generate, much like virtual reality was. The VR headsets, they were talked about, they were generated, there were people discussing it. It wasn't like the gamepad just came out of nowhere. Um, and the long wait for the Switch is over, and I'm finally used to calling it the Switch, so you don't have to worry about me going between NX and Switch. One thing I tried to do for this series, which unfortunately didn't pan out well, was I was attempting. I was one of. I'm part of the My Nintendo loyalty program. I don't know why I pointed this way. This is what YouTubers do because they make a thing there, but I'm not making a thing there. That's work. Um, where they what I like about Nintendo's loyalty programs is they give you nice little goodies. They really do appreciate your business. And what they did for me this time was they sent me an email to give me an opportunity to buy tickets to go to pre-launch hands-on Nintendo Switch events, which is much like what they did with Best Buys and whatnot. We get to play the Wii U, but it was only in certain cities, and it's still in certain cities. I'd have to travel all the way to New York City, which I do. I like to take the time to go to New York City. I don't live far from New York City, so I do take the time to go. Um, I'm sure you noticed about the content of this channel, all the stuff I've done and explained in the past, but yeah. Um, So about the presentation itself, unfortunately, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't even finish. Was unfortunately I couldn't get tickets. It was very competitive, and I was a couple days late. I didn't notice emails like a day later, unfortunately, but that's okay. I get the idea. I remember I got to try the Wii U out right before it came out at Comic Con, New York Comic Con, right before it actually did come out. That was like the last year, one of the last years Nintendo was there. Um, and that was fun and all, but it's not important. The presentation now, I was very impressed. The game lineup, it was very well organized. I thought that they knew what games people would be interested in. They knew what games people would be like thinking about. They knew what games people wanted to know about. And they put in a good order. They talked to good people. They talked to the right people. It was an investor's presentation. And it was very flashy. A lot of nice lights. The music was great. I love the So one thing about the Switch, which I hope actually gets into the console itself, I love the funky kind of not techno, but kind of like a jazz fusiony kind of thing. Kind of. I don't know. I haven't really put much thought into what kind of music I think it is, but it's very upbeat, very fast and fun. And you can tell Nintendo's going for a new identity with the Switch. Like there's new. They did take the time to mention in the presentation, which I liked, how it took elements from every console in the past, which Nintendo was always good at doing, taking elements from things from the past that worked, and I'm looking forward to see what they do next. I can't wait to see what they do next with the next console. Personally, I would like a dual screen gameplay with the Switch. I think it's unfair that the Wii U The Wii U has such a unique gameplay style, and it never got fully evolved. It's really unfortunate, but them's the breaks. There's gonna be a great interest in the Wii U. In probably like 10 or 20 years, much like the Dreamcast, people are probably going to develop games for it. So what they explained in the first place was the way what the console can do, how it can be played, all the controller options. They discussed region free, which good for people. I never cared that much, but good for the people who did. Um, and yeah, but the end of it, though, it just felt satisfying. And because I knew what it was and existed, I know I'm not feeling as excited as I did last time, but don't get fooled by that. It really was more along the lines of I just was impressed with what detail they gave me now. It did answer a few of my questions. Yeah, interviews have been pouring out that answer more questions. Like for one thing, I was kind of disappointed that the Switch doesn't have Miiverse, but I wasn't surprised that it doesn't have Street Pass because again, they're not introducing this as a handheld slash console. It's a console with a handheld. They even called it that, a handheld mode. They directly said this is a handheld mode, so it's not meant to be a handheld console. But it looks like I was wrong with the idea of the Wii U still being developed for it. It looks like they're not going to do that. They might make Wii U versions of NX games, but I doubt that because you have a disc and a cartridge game, and it's not going to mesh well. I've even been seeing some comparison shots between the Wii U version and the NX version of Breath of the Wild, which looks great. Um, ain't got a launch date, thank God, because I was talking to when I did my pre-order. I was talking to the person, the registered woman, and and she was saying we were saying like, oh God, I'm so glad they're not doing what they promised with the Wii U. They're gonna smush all these games in the launch window, because like that Zelda game is gonna take a long time, and Mario Odyssey, which I can't wait. That looks incredible. That I'm fanboying over that. It looked incredible. Mario Odyssey is supposed to be a sandbox game, an open world sandbox game. Well, not open world, but it's supposed to be a very vast exploration sandbox game. And that I want to talk about in great length. Mario Odyssey. We talked about Breath of the Wild. Everyone talked about Breath of the Wild to death, but I love this callback to Mario 64. They even mentioned Mario 64 by name. This is what I wanted for a while. I wanted a return to a very exploration 3D world Mario. I wanted and it looks like they're really introducing some things. Like Nintendo's really starting to listen to the complaints. Not that everybody had them, or mind you, but there were loud complaints. Like Breath of the Wild looks like it is getting voice acting. And a 3D Mario game looks like it's going to more of its traditional roots. And looks like they're actually building some kind of narrative to it. I'm not sure about that, but if it's called Mario Odyssey, it's got to have some sort of narrative. And if there's one thing I love that I think kind of backs it up is the expressions on Mario. I was really impressed with the faces he makes and the expressions he makes, how he reacts to things. That was cool, and that I can't wait to see in every Mario game in the future. What I saw, how it looked, I know my TV didn't do it justice or my monitors didn't do it justice, but it was beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful. All the games look great. Splatoon 2 I can't wait to play because I dropped out of Splatoon 1 too soon. And then when I got back to it, I was just so behind everybody else in that game and I could never catch up. I'd have to put a lot of effort and time, which I didn't have. So it's going to be fun to start over again with Splatoon 2. And I love the more acrobatic movements they have. You can tell the fashion's a little more updated. It shows like it's probably most likely they're going to say it's a new region, a new city. Like Inkopolis is a separate city. Maybe you can travel to it. I would think it would be cool if you can play between the Wii U Splatoon and the Switch Splatoon 2, but I doubt that'll be a thing. It might, which would be cool because you can play in old maps and new. They probably have old maps on there too. I don't know, but everything looks cool. I have a lot of hope for the Switch versions of Wii U games because when I saw Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, I like how they introduced you saw they teased a couple new characters in there, like we saw King Boo, and I am looking forward to the idea of all the DLCs there. You can tell because they play the Yoshi's map, the Yoshi's Island map, the one from Double Dash, and they had what was it? What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, they fixed a big complaint. They actually did make battle arenas for battle mode because I never played battle mode in Mario Kart 8 because I knew I wouldn't like it. The only battle mode I've ever enjoyed was the Mario Kart DS. But In Mario Kart 8, everyone didn't like the battle mode because you played them on regular tracks, and that is kind of annoying. It's a long, big track. You don't. There's not as much. It's just not right. So they made legitimate battle stages, and I can't wait to see what we do for Smash Brothers. I'm pretty confident now. Maybe I'm really confident Ice Climbers will be in this version. I'm really confident there'll be new stages, new characters. Um, but it's nice for them. They can just and I can see the Smash for Wii U being the game to play for console. They just keep adding more, or maybe even replacing stuff. I don't mind. I don't mind. I think it's a good idea because it is tough to make a Smash Brothers game, as we saw from the grueling development of Smash 4. Um, I don't think there'll ever be a handheld Smash Brothers again, but what are you gonna do? I mean, technically there is another Smash handheld, but I was. Bottom line, it was very good. We got to see a lot of cool games, like Skyrim Remastered has definitely been confirmed there, which that's gonna make a lot of people happy. I don't know. I know a lot of people who bought Skyrim Remastered already for the PS4. I don't know if they'll buy the Switch version, but the idea of playing Skyrim wherever you want to go will definitely attract people. Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Now that's a chapter I have to talk about here because I don't know when this will end with me. I started. For those who don't know, I started my blind Let's Play of Xenoblade Chronicles years ago, and I'm still playing it. It's a long game. I don't have a lot of time in my life. It's getting increasingly difficult to update on Let's Plays. But not that I don't like to. I definitely always try to put the effort. It's just some days I just can't. Um, I'm glad I was able to put this video up. That's why this video was a couple days late too. It's just life. And I'm not even gonna try to explain it anymore. I'm just gonna be one. I've watched channels like that. I know it's not everyone's cup of tea. I'm sorry, and I really appreciate everyone's patience. But that's for an update video. Xenoblade Chronicles 2. This just keeps updating. I started playing Xenoblade Chronicles right before that big price hike of the game, and then they announced Xenoblade Chronicles 3D for the new 3DS, and I got that. I never even got to start it. I got Xenoblade Chronicles X, and I've only gotten a little bit the way in. I had a friend of mine who beat it in a month, and I'm like, good for him. He was very dedicated. Shadow Draco 90. I'll give him a little plug. And yeah, like really impressive stuff. And then now there's Xenoblade Chronicles 2, which I'm definitely gonna pick that up. I'm definitely gonna pick that up. It's just when I'm gonna start it, I'll never know. I want to be able to finish. Like now, I'm definitely probably never gonna play the 3D version because I have to get back to Xenoblade Chronicles X, and now Xenoblade Chronicles 2. But it was cool they announced that. It's cool that Team Ninja is doing more stuff for Nintendo. They deserve it after their work with them, with with the Wii U. Like they're really showing support for the third-party developers who stuck with them on the Wii U, and they're showing no hard feelings with the developers that ditched them with the Switch and ditched them with the Wii U, not the Switch. And yeah, there's a lot of stuff to talk about in the future. But for now, that's it. We'll be back soon. I might have to make another video. Maybe I'll probably make another video between now and the opening if there's any more presentations or news or if there's just stuff I forgot to say here. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.